Hey guys, hey, it's Mr. Anderson here. Let's see, I'm pull up a picture. We're gonna start this videos for November 17th. It's our second uh, day on drawing on our shoe still life. And I think first I wanted to kind of remind everybody that we're gonna spend today adding to this drawing. Um, and then on Friday, we'll have another video we'll add, be finishing up the drawing and then turning it in on Canvas. And I'm going to remind you now, and I'll remind you on Thursday and Friday through our Google Meet and on the video that we'll do that the same way we did our remote learning. During our practice of remote learning, when we would go on to the Google Docs, because the camera didn't work for everybody. If you go to your Google Docs and you could take a picture through, adding a photo on a Google Doc and then post it into my Canvas, which there won't be a place to turn this in until after Friday's video, okay? So today, I want to show you, let's see if I can turn the camera. I've got, what do I have? Oh, that's upside down, there we go. Okay, I have my boots here still set up in the same spot. I actually moved them and then brought them back because this is a different day. But I have a lot of details to add. Let's see if I get this line back up correctly. I have a lot of details I want to add to this. Let's see, there we go, adjusting. And I think if you remember when I left off, I was really struggling here. I had shortened this boot the way it looks. I'm gonna move this a little closer to me. There we go. I'm gonna try and do some adjusting in here, kind of get this finalized before we start shading. I also, as I look back on it, sometimes I'll take a look, take a step back and see what parts of it need adjusting. I feel like the heel's not quite right. I think I need to push this back a bit, and maybe not so thick. Okay. So a couple little adjustments I'll make before we start adding more little details and then shading it in, which we did the value scale. You guys remember with our that worksheet we did with the cone and the cube and the sphere, and that added the illusion of 3 dimensions. So that's going to be our goal on this one as well. So let's start. I'm going to start here at the heel. I do kind of feel like if I line things up, I do feel like this is a little bit big. I do feel like it's a little bit thick. I'm going to try and thin this out a bit. Just making some adjustments. When I get everything just the way I want it, then I'll really concentrate on more of the details. And here I'm also trying to add in. Now again, I don't want to get too thick here. So just the whole point of this, and I was talking to some people on the Google Meets today, which would be yesterday, by the way. The whole point is to draw something that you're actually looking at. Okay, that's the drawing from life. And there was one student that said something about drawing something off their computer. That's not really what I'm going for on this one. I want you guys to draw something that is 3-dimensional, that's right in front of you. It's 3D. It's not off a 2-dimensional screen. It's not off a 2-dimensional picture. It's an actual three-dimensional object or objects right in front of you, okay? That is what we're going for with this project. I also had a student ask or say that they had finished. Well, I want to work on this for more than one session, okay? Because I'm going to go for, we'll see what some, we've talked about a bunch of times with our other projects, the amount of effort we put into these. Time is effort, and we'll just see if we could put two more, 30, 40-minute sessions in, and in the end end up with three, possibly an hour and a half or more time on this, on one picture, okay? That will give us a result that is better than spending just a half hour, let's say, okay? So I'm thinking a little bit about kind of the shapes here. These boots are pretty worn in, let's say. They've got a little character to them. So here, everything's not just perfectly smooth. There's some wrinkle areas. And right in here as well, I kind of feel like there's a natural bend area in here. There's kind of one in this area as well. Trying to add those little details, and then in the end I'll be able to adjust that. Over here, I was looking at this emblem earlier. I feel like I made mine a little bit small. I'm going to adjust that now. I think I'll just enlarge it a bit. Like I was talking about, kind of taking a step back and getting a long view of it. It's kind of where I looked at it and thought, yeah, it seems a little small, what I made there. So go in and just enlarge that a little bit. This does have lettering on it, and I'll try and include all that. All right, and then very small. I got to fit Harley Davidson on here. That's a long word. I'm gonna have to shrink that. That pretty much fits. Okay. Now, no, it's not all perfectly neat and everything, but we'll kind of come around. I'm just kind of getting things where they go. I might start up in here. I've got some stitching and stuff details I could add. It's kind of in this area, a little bit of a double stitch. I'll go ahead and add those in. Why not? I feel like I got some good detail up in where the laces are. Now, I feel like if I add to that, more and more of these boots will come together and start looking kind of nice. Sometimes it's a little bit tough, to keep with the artwork. Sometimes you might be thinking, oh, I'd rather draw something else. But there's a certain point you just got to get past on some of these. I kind of feel that way on this boot. Just, the other day I was feeling like this area just was bugging me and I couldn't get past it. And I'm going to work on something else and make it worthwhile. Okay. Just make it worthwhile to finish this picture up. Now, again, the stitching goes all the way around, and it just depends what kind of shoe you're drawing. I know in the past I've drawn like Birkenstocks that didn't have any stitching. I've drawn some dress shoes that did have stitching, so it just depends. I'm kind of looking for a detail, some sort of details to add to it. Okay. Now, I still haven't found my pencil sharpener. I've been kind of using as I use my pencil, kind of turn it a little bit. It kind of helps. It's not necessarily sharpening it, but it might be honing it just a little bit. Okay. Again, I could find another means to sharpen it, but for right now, I'll be all right. When I start shading, that would really get it. Start using it up, and if I use again on the kind of press on the side of it, it can kind of put a point to it. And I do usually try to turn my pencil as I'm going to do that, to help with that. Now, I mentioned during the Google Meets, at least some of them, that at the end, I would like to get pictures of all of these that get sent in on the Canvas. And when I do, last year during remote learning, I would make videos of all of the student work, okay? Because we can't, since we're in remote learning, we can't hang anything up in the hallway like I enjoy to do. So instead, it's kind of like posting it. I posted on that YouTube channel that this is on. So you guys can check those out. It'll be after Friday, probably whatever ones are turned in by the end of the weekend. And then for our Monday Google Meet, I'll let you know about the when the video's on. So sometimes I don't get everybody's. Depends if everybody turns them in on time. Okay, so that's usually what happens there. And then next week, I think we'll have a little bit different schedule because we have Thanksgiving falling on those days. So we'll still have probably our Google Meet on Monday, and hey, right in here, I feel like I'm gonna do a little adjusting. Let's see. As I'm looking at this piece comes up and then comes down. All right. So the stitching does that as well. Kind of stitches up. And as you see here, I've really just been adding the little fine details of stitching, which isn't, a lot, but in the end, when I start adding some value, coloring this in, it should help. And I'll tell you, right in here, I almost feel like this could come down a little bit further. Which technically I should, if I pull that down further, I should have this come down a little bit further. So I might just, I don't really want to move all my laces because if I moved one, I'd have to move them all, right? So I'll probably just go in between. In other words, I feel like it needs to be a little bit longer, but up here I don't. Up here, between here and here. So I'm looking at the relationship here from the back of the boot to here, and then I'm looking from here to here. So there are a little bit of an adjustment there. In other words, it's not perfect. All right, yep, more stitches. I got stitches coming up here. And this is a single row of stitches going under the laces. All right, so I kind of got this stitched area, and really that there is some more stitching, but as I look at it, there's kind of a bead. Let me work on the bottom of this shoe a little bit. Let me adjust it just a little bit. If I were, I'm going to go in here on the heel again, mess around with this. It has like a stitching going along the boot, and then kind of a little beaded area, okay, in between the sole and the leather, or the leather and the rubber. So I'm going to try and adjust that, and then on here on this part is where I has some stitches. Okay, so first let me go along with this little bead, and I want to go along, make it as straight as I can. It'll be a little bit sketchy. This will end up being pretty dark when I shade it in. The sole's really black. And all the boot is black, but you know, there's going to be lighter areas and darker areas, just like we have when we shade, okay? Even though the boot's black, it can have darker and lighter areas. Okay. And we'll see how we go on timing today. I'm not sure if we'll end up putting any value on these today, because I have some details over on this boot as well before I start shading, okay? But we'll see. I kind of, again, keep my time limit to on the video around 30 minutes. I think last one was just a touch short of 30 minutes. And here, I'm always just looking. You got to keep your, oh, I hear my cat. Just a second. Let me try and get her real quick. You guys get in. There. Come on, cat. Hey, you hear her? She's meowing. Now that she's, oh, there we go. You guys see me? All right. It got a little silhouetted there. So I'm going to go in and start putting these stitches in on the sole. And we'll see what it looks like then after that. Again, this, you know, I'll be blending and shading. These won't look so harsh when you kind of see how I blended that right there. It's, you know, it's a process here that we're doing. Take some time. There we go. All right, I'm going to kind of leave that one. I'm going to kind of leave that one there. Now, as I look, I feel pretty good. I might go over some of my laces just to, like right in here. As I look at this lace, I'm trying to wonder, what was I doing? What was I doing? Okay, this lace does wrap around. Let me erase a little bit here. And here, it has like a metal loop here, and this lace wraps around it and comes up and around. I might, now the laces are, I don't know how to say it, kind of, they've got a texture to them. I'm going to do kind of a cross hatch on it. I'm going to go ahead and do that to the laces. I'm going to cross hatches, I'm going to put some lines going one direction on these laces and then go back and draw some lines going the other direction. Okay? Just kind of cross hatch it a little bit. You see that? It gives it a little bit of a texture that is similar to what it is in real life. It's kind of like a woven texture. And I'm going to do that just to get them to kind of make them a little bit more visible for me. And I'm trying to remember here, this lace goes up and under. And this is a lace right here going up. I don't know what that was. I know that I have the Google Meet thing going right now. Hopefully nobody is jumping on the Google Meet an hour early, because they would be an hour early to my Google Meet. It's 12 right now. And 7th periods doesn't start till 1. I don't have a 6th period. Anyway, hopefully that's not the case. Can you kind of see what I'm getting at with those laces? I'm going to continue that. It's all the little details. You put them all together and they'll work out pretty nice. Just cross hatching right where my laces are. And then I can go back around and outline them a little better. Now this, remember, it had a little tag on it. Remember that? I'll kind of leave it like that. Oh, and then the lace is coming down out of the, whoops, wrong one. I was started cross hatching in between the laces. I don't want that. Here we go. This lace kind of disappears back behind the other lace. And here is the other lace that's out in front of it. And this one goes all the way down to the toe here. Now the other one goes back behind it. I could have it come back around. We'll see. Let's see what I decide to do. Now you don't necessarily have to cross hatch your laces. It depends. These are dark laces, so that's kind of why I wanted to do that. Now I'm gonna go back around here now that I've cross hatched them and kind of outline them a little bit more. And I may even, make sure they're going through the areas they're supposed to, the eyelet they're supposed to be going. I could adjust these eyelets a little bit now too. Make any adjustments you need. And I could blend that a little bit. Put a little blend, make it not so harsh. There we go. Blend that just a touch. I don't know, I think it's starting to look a little better. What do you guys think? Okay, let's go back here. We have the other boot. Got to think about this boot. And where I have it here, I need to adjust because I've got them a little closer together than I did the other day. Now, the laces on this one are quite a bit different. I have one coming out here. I have a piece trying to look at what I have going on with these laces. I might adjust that first. Mess with that first. Okay, so I have a lace coming out here and going back behind. And here, okay, let's call, I got two laces. This one's coming down and coming behind. Now that I'm looking at this boot, I have one coming down and the end of it is right here. All right, so I'm gonna put that there. I also have another piece coming out for this loop around. Okay, so it's coming out from the same area and it's coming down here and looping around back up. Okay, so again, I could erase right in here, but you know I'll be doing that little cross hatching thing as well. So right now these laces are looking a little bit rough. That's okay. I'll get them neatened up. I had another lace coming straight down and kind of, oh, there it was. I'm going to move it. I did have it there before. It kind of comes straight down here and just kind of ends at the boot here. Now I'm going to go in and adjust some of these laces here because they're looking pretty rough. And I'll probably adjust the eyelets as well. I want to make sure I'm, adding detail, but I'm also neatening it up as I go. And I'll probably go right into the laces and do the cross hatching again. As soon as I figure, first I want to make sure to get all of them right where I want before I start adding that cross hatching. Now, when I look at this loop does come down further, but I'm going to go ahead and have the loop up here. From the way the shoe was the first day I started it, I moved these back to the garage and brought them back in. So there have been a few things that are a little bit different on the shoes. So that's all right. Now here, I'm going to adjust this. All right, I'm going to go in and look for some of the stitching first. I'll go in the same order I did on the last boot. I'll put some of the stitching in, and then we'll go in and neaten up the crosshatch, the laces. Now, I got to look at the pattern that I have here. It comes down just like this other boot. And I'll get the stitching on that the same. There we go. And it has double stitches just like the other boot. So the more detail you can add, the better it'll look. I'll go ahead and include it. And then up at the top, it was a single stitch. You can kind of see, let's take a look. It is looking a little better. As I look overall, sometimes I get focused in on just one area. But as I look overall, a couple things pop out. Right in here seems really underdone. Over here, I feel underdone. You know, I'm missing the shoelace here. There should be a shoelace underneath here. And another one crisscrossing, which this this one is going that way. So this one works for that. I'll put this one in here and maybe darken some of this up. Okay. There's a thickness to this leather right here. That's what I'm kind of trying to show there. Kind of a thickness to it. There we go. And go up like that. Okay, it's feeling a little better right in here. It's feeling a little better. I think over here I need to, I kind of can see that this needs some work over here. I might, let's start in on the laces, see what we come up with. The thing is, some of these ends of these laces are tucked behind some of these. So let's just start right here. I think as I add the cross hatching, it's like adding value, and it helps me distinguish where my laces are. You know, there's a lot of lines in here. I kind of have these cross hatched, it helps me kind of decide what's what, see what's what. So I have another lace that's coming down in this direction. It's kind of going back behind the shoe. Right back in there. And it disappears back in there. Okay. Here's another lace that creeps out from behind there. This is the big loop. I have to change direction on my cross hatches because it's spiraling. It goes through that loop there, which this loop has the kind of half circle shape behind it. All right, let me go in here and get the other hatch, the cross hatch. This is a lot of detail just for shoelaces, eh? But I think, again, it'll look better. It gives it a little bit of a woven quality, which is what the actual shoelaces look like. I'm trying to give it that texture, okay? Now the end of this shoelace is broken off. It just has like, looks like a little piece of cotton sticking out of it. So I'll leave it like that for now and go in here and let's cross hatch these. Got one back in here. Again, might blend it a little bit. It's a little harsh. All right. This lace down at the bottom has the little metal tag. So I'll just do the ends of it like that for now. All right, let me blend that. So that's how I'm feeling the laces are going right now. And this, I think, detail-wise, other than maybe fixing, you know, up here in the front, I need to fix the toe of this shoe. We really are just about at the stage to start really thinking pretty heavily about adding value, okay? I'll be looking for our Friday's drawing to finish it up, just adding some value to this, okay? Shading it. I'll be looking for the dark areas and these recessed areas. I want them darker, even though the shoes are all black. There's darker areas inside, lighter areas outside. There's areas where the light's reflecting, and I'll leave that lighter. And I won't just make it up. All right. I'll draw it the way I see it. Okay, the shadows and the value. Now, so I'm going to leave it there for today. That gives you a few more minutes. I think that I've probably talked for over 30 minutes at this point. So you guys could work on your shoes. Remember, overall, including the videos, to spend, probably between 35 and 45 minutes, okay? And we'll add, again, some more to this on Friday, and then I'll have a spot for you to turn them in, all right, on Canvas, on that day's assignment, okay? So, anyway, let's see here. Let me click this button and go to here. There you go. So I will see you guys on the Google Meet on what day? Thursday's Google Meet. All right. Until then, see ya.